Guys, sorry for the long wait, but we are back with our Monkey Temple page, part 2. And today we are gonna tackle the little monkey here. I already looked for some reference pictures and I want to do it like, I think it's called in English a squirrel monkey. In German it's ein Totenkopfäffchen. Um, it's actually funny because if you translate the German word, it's a skull monkey. So, yeah, a skull, and has nothing to do with a squirrel. Um, I looked for an image where the head is facing somewhat in the direction, and I will use this as a reference. This cutie. I think it's looking pretty similar. I had another monkey first in mind, but these ears have just this sharp tip here, that you can see, and the other monkey that I had in mind doesn't have that. So this looks a little more accurate to me. So I will go with these guys. And the fun thing is I already colored one of these ages ago, pretty much when I started coloring. And it's this one. I'm still so proud of this one. I can't remember when I colored it. Oh, in 21. So it's a while ago. I got this PDF from Modern Coloring on Etsy, as you can see. And yeah, it's this one. And you see, I already colored one of these. Really like these. I bought a bundle of these. They are 3 pictures. And I decided to do it therefore. So this one is just in Prismacolor. Then I have the second one. That's this one here. So pretty, right? These images are so awesome. This is completely colored in polychromos, and the third one will be this one, but I haven't decided yet what pencils I want to do here. It's gonna be either Luminance or Pablo's, since I have them now. But I haven't decided yet. But yeah, maybe I will show you this one. If you are interested, let me know. If you want to see me this one, and then we have the whole set of these 3 beauties. But like I said, I want to go with this species of monkey for this guy. Okay, so let me just put that away. And once again, we will work with Neocolors as a base. And let's see how this is going. And let's start. Let me bring them out. Of course, I'm absolutely not prepared for this, but we will figure it out. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, they have a little bit of a yellow hint in them. So I think this will pretty much help me to connect these colors, because it's a little bit more of a like a dirty yellow, and I can bring some yellowish greenish shades into it, so this will help to connect these 2 areas a little bit better. Okay, so then let's see, what colors can we use? Oh, let's start with the base colors for the monkey. I think I will take out the gold ochre and ochre, just to see if we will use them both. But as you know me by now, I sometimes bring out more stuff than I actually use, but that's okay. Okay, then they are more grayish than brownish. Do we have for grays? Dark gray, maybe? Dark gray and gray. Yes, I think so. Dark gray and gray. What else do we have? Pretty black, pretty dark. Let me see if I have another reference picture where we can see the full body a little bit better. Okay, I think this will work. So we can see the full range of the colors of the body a little bit better. You can see the feet are a little more on the yellowish side. Then we have pretty gray, a little bit pinkish on the belly. And so let's just try to somehow match these. This one is not as dark as the other picture, but I think I want to go more for this. Okay, just a little bit of brown to go into the yellow areas too. Okay, so we haven't decided yet. Then I will bring out the beige, the invisible beige again. And I think for now we are good here. We can still add some stuff in the end. Since we don't have a back here, a back of the monkey, we can all just try to focus on these parts. Okay. Just a little on the face. I want a little bit of a pinkish hint, just a tiny bit. I hope I don't get it too heavy. But here, the face and the ears, don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit pinkish around the eyes. So what do we want? It's all not what I want. No, that's too red. That's not going to work. It's really pinkish, so I think I will go with this one. As I said, we will just need a super tiny bit, but I think you might see a difference, so let's go for this. Okay, and I think we will start with the face first. The most obvious parts. Of course, I forgot my palette. Once again, as usual. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, face. We said first we're gonna use a tiny bit of this pink color. Really just a little tiny bit. And then we have a bit of golden ochre. Oops. Let's say just down here and here around the face. Since it doesn't have this long fur down here, I'm not sure if I will use it actually. Then the beige. Maybe it will show this time. And then the gray colors up here. I will start and lay down the base a little lighter, because you can always go darker, but lighter it's tough. Okay, I think for now, just for the head, that's enough. Okay, so let's go. First, the pink. Is it wet? Yes. A lot of water, not that much of pigment. And then let's go. You can absolutely see nothing at all. Maybe we need a little more pigment. Okay, that's better. Then around the eyes. I'm already in the camera again. Okay, let's try it this way. tiny bit of ochre. I think here on this side. Around here. Okay, that's enough. Otherwise it will be too much color in there. Then just let's bring very diluted gray for the shadow areas. Can barely see anything, but it's fine. Oh, you cannot just barely see anything, you can actually see nothing. But we had this in the first place down here, so just trust me, there is color there. Okay, so the mouth area. How far does it go up? I think here. Yes, its nose is gray too. Like this, probably, maybe, hopefully. Okay, darker gray. Not sure if I already picked out the most darkest one, or if I can go even darker, but we will figure that out as we go. Now it's dark enough, I think. Okay. Then what do we have? The beige as a base for the head, I think. There is somewhat white behind his ears. I would say here, this part I will leave white for now. So just map it out for myself. Okay. So this part will stay white. Okay. Then I jump into the dark gray already, I think. For here. The white parts on the fur I will add later on with gel pens if they want to work this time. So this part will look quite flat, I think, but we will bring in the dimension later on. Can try to use a few flicks here and there, but this will not be the end result anyways. Be beige, not pink. What does this do? Okay, you can absolutely see nothing. That's so sad. But well, like I said, trust me, down here you couldn't see anything at all too. So we will figure it out. And the tips of the ear a bit yellowish. Okay. Just here in the transition of fur. Okay. Then it's cheeks. A little bit ochre. And down here. Okay. Okay. So the eyes are pretty black, but I think I will do that with pencils actually. I think. Yes, but I want a darker gray. Grayish black. To work on its mouth actually right now already. Yes, I think I like that better. And then we will go with a grayish black on the head. It's just a little bit darker in this area on the forehead. Down here, want a little bit of a shadow already. It's still just to mark it out for me, where it's darker, where it's lighter. We will use a lot of gel pen and probably Posca since it just works better back here anyway, so we can base it quite heavy. We'll go over this anyway. Okay. Is it here? Yeah, it's also gray. Does it start to show? A bit. A bit. Okay. On this side, I want it to be a little lighter. Okay, his ears are basically white, so we will just leave it white. Okay, I think that's already it for the base on his face. Also, for some reason today the paper seemed to not handle the water very well, but anyways. So now we are going into the more ochre and yellowish parts on his arms. Okay, go with a more lightish. And the yellow part is more in the front of his arm than in the back of his arm, so on this side. Okay, and his hands, we already saw, are more yellowish brownish, so we can go in a little heavier down here. And then we can bring in some browns too. Where are we? Here. I remember this monkey that I colored, that I showed you on the PDF page. Took forever. This little guy took forever. And also I can tell you the Pablo page that I showed you on the side takes me also forever. For real. Dark skin is so hard for me to color, since I haven't colored that much dark skin tones till today. I really try to take my time and get it right, but dark skin is so complex. Okay, so anyway, then we have a little bit more of gray on his shoulders. And now we have to think about to connect these parts, because right now they seem a little bit too disconnected from each other for me. But we will get there in a second. A bit more darker gray. We will have to do a lot of pencil, gel pen and Posca work later on this guy, but it's okay. Already bring in a little bit of shading down here in his hand. Okay. Maybe a little bit more yellowish up here. Brownish even. So, also one thing that I realized when I was looking for my reference picture, there's a big difference in the languages when it comes to monkeys. For example, the word, I know that in English you difference between monkeys and apes. That's a difference that's not happening in German. So an ape is ein Affe and a monkey is ein Affe. I think that the difference that you can maybe that's most equivalent is a monkey is ein Affe and an ape is ein Menschenaffe, so a human monkey basically. Because as far as I know, you guys different between an animal with a tail and an animal without a tail. So with it, it's a monkey, and without it, it's an ape, right? Not sure, but I think I heard that somewhere. So therefore, I think the most fitting comparison to the German language is Affe und Menschenaffe. So for example, as far as I know, a gorilla is an ape because it doesn't have a tail, right? So a gorilla is ein Menschenaffe in German, also without a tail. And these little fellers are just regular Affen. So I mean, we have kind of a different word for it, but it's just longer and weirder. For us, it's just ein Affe ist ein Affe. Okay. I think I want to bring in already a little bit of a green hint here. So moss green we used, and dark and olive green we used. Just like I said, to connect these two areas. I want it to look like a whole picture and not like two different elements. So therefore, so yeah, differences in languages. You can still see nothing. What is it today? What is it today? I don't know. It's such a beautiful day, actually. So we have the sun out for the first time in weeks. But I'm not willing to shut down the sun if it's there right now just to record. I'm very sorry, but I'm so happy that we have some sun right now. I will not shut it down and close it out. And nope. Happy that it's there. We will work around it somehow. Okay, it's better, I think. Let me just try something. Whoop. Wrong program. Okay, does the color appear? It's better, right? Yeah, I think it's better. Good. Okay, so then let's go further on his feet. So for next week, I don't know how much I can upload since I will be on a business trip. So maybe I have to let you wait for another week since we'll not be home to record. But actually, I just realized by the time that I barely have the time to record unless it's the weekend, right? It's like right now. When I come from work, I'm just too exhausted. And to sit down to record those long videos, I'm sorry, but it's just not happening. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think you can understand what I mean. Not a full-time YouTuber. But so yeah, but as soon as I will come back, I will try to record some stuff for you immediately, so you don't have to wait for too long. Because I know when I started to upload, I uploaded 2 videos a week, but that's when I had some days off from work, so Time was not an issue there, but it's now, since I'm back to work. And therefore, 2 times a week it's not possible. But I will try to make sure that you get at least 1 video a week. That's the goal. Everything else is a bonus. Okay. Now the Neocolors are just trying to escape. Could you please stay here? Thank you. Okay, and let's bring in some more of the greens. This was olive green. And this is still all just a base color, so it can be really rough. It's okay. Okay, now we are going to the back. Okay, we don't have a belly here, so we don't have to bother with the pinkish belly colors. A little bit of beige, just again to connect these 2 elements. And a little bit of green. Okay, what do we have here? Don't know. Good. Great. Okay. Down here we can have a little bit of a yellowish undertone. This line is a little too harsh for me, so let's smooth this out. Whoops, that's too dark. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then how does the tail look? Of course, I didn't use my first reference picture at all. Just the one with the full body that I showed you. But it's fine. Maybe we will go to it later. And if not, then we don't. Okay, a bit greenish. Let me bring it to this side so you can see what I'm using. Green. It's just the kind of undertone that we are doing here. Okay. Right now he looks like he's getting too dark, too gray. But I think after we use the Posca pen, it will look way better than it's looking right now. I have hopes. I still have hope. We will make it work. Okay, his tail is not on the picture. Thanks for that. Just the tip of its tail, but I think I will go for the more yellowish, yellowish color. Just like its feet. And then bring in a little bit of gray. And up here we missed a little bit of a tree. Okay. I actually saw this when I edited the last video, and by now I already forgot again. So yeah, long time memory and I not the best match. Okay, just super quick, super rough and super careful. Not. Okay. Do I like this base? It's still lighter or brighter on camera than it is in real. So, but I think when I turn down the brightness of the camera even more, then you will hardly see anything, or it would look just terrible on camera. I don't want that, so you have to trust me that it's actually darker. Then you can see it, and then that there's color in his face. So you have to trust me there too. Okay, so for a base color, I will leave it like this. And now we will let it dry. In the meantime, I will just tidy up my space a little bit while it's drying, and then we will bring out the pencils and the gel pen and Posca pen, and then we will continue. See you in a second. Okay, we're back, all dried, and I already brought out some of my Prismacolors, and I first of all brought out the whole range of the French gray pencils from 10, 20, 30, 50, 70 and 90%. Then for the face, I don't know if I will use all of these once again. I brought out the light peach and seashell pink. Then also I brought out some espresso, black, cool gray 90% and white. And for the more yellowish parts, it's goldenrod, burnt ochre and bronze, a metallic one. Not quite sure, but I think I used it on the other monkey that I colored. We will see. The one time where I want a little bit of a dirty color. As I once said in one of my previous videos, I really don't like the metallic ones, but maybe it can do us a favor for this one time. Okay, so I think once again we will start from its face and work our way to the tail. Of course, I closed my reference picture. Just give me a second. Make it bigger. Okay, so let's try if we can get this little guy to match his... no, where do we start? Let's do French gray 70%. And just get a little bit more definition in its head. Also, I'm flicking a little bit. You will probably not see these in the end. since it's such a big space, but I mean, Kerby is not hyper realistic, right? So I don't try to make a hyper realistic out of these pages. So I'm just flicking for the variation, but not for the actual fur strands and hairs at this point. Okay. Then the French Grain 90. Because as you can see here, this part is pretty dark. And I think I want to lay this down here in this area. Maybe we will go even to the Cool Grain 90. Maybe the cool grays will match even a little bit better than the French grays. I'm already looking forward to the white part because it will bring so much life to this guy. But at first we have to lay down the base, because otherwise the white part will do just nothing. Okay, well, how far does the dark part go? I think here. This one was white, okay, but down here on its ear is a little darker. Okay, so here we are going already into the yellow parts, so let's go up again. Okay, I will do even a little bit of black. And down here, a little bit here, just for shading, because actually his ears are also white, so not too dark here. But we need some shading. Okay. I think that's already enough. Let me just French grade 10%. I'm pressing quite hard. So if you're wondering, yes, I'm using quite a bit of pressure right now. Okay, I think that's okay for now. Just white a little bit here on the outside. I want my light source to come from this direction, at least a little bit. But right now I'm not focusing too much on highlights at this point. Okay, then we will go into the face, first with seashell pink. The eyes again. Now I go again with what feels natural and a little bit less. On the reference picture I really just have to map out the areas, but not to create an actual duplicate of the reference picture. So this face will probably not be as wide as the reference picture, because I feel like the whole page has quite a bit of color and is quite dark. So if I would leave this face as white as it is on the reference picture, it would just look odd, I think. So, yeah. Therefore, we are not going as white as the reference picture. This is French Gray 30, just to soften this edge up here a little bit. I feel it was a little too harsh. Also, we can use it to shade the face a bit. If you could see barely anything, maybe if this... No. But we will leave it there. For now, I just have to try to remember to check constantly so I won't lose you when I go out of frame. Okay, where is Seashell Pink? So this, yes. Okay, then his mouth. But I think here I will use the cool gray colors a little bit more. So cool gray 50 and 70% for down here. $70. And sorry, don't know what's wrong with my voice today. That's 90%. Okay. A little less pressure now. 50% again. Also a little less pressure. Good. And French Gray 20 for the lightest area, just to blend it all a bit. Good. And black just for the very dark areas. And a little bit of detailing, but not too much. His mouth should be gray and not black. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, so let's try to get a little bit more variation in his face. That's burnt ochre. And now I don't look at the reference picture anymore. It's just... But I think burnt ochre helps already a little bit to get more definition and color in his face. Like I said, I will not do it as wide as the reference. Okay. Okay, shall we do a little bit in his eyes? Because I think that's the most important part on any colorings. If you have some eyes, they are very, very important. They are pretty dark, pretty dark, almost black. But I don't want to lose the pupils because otherwise this will just look as black holes. So cool gray 70%. Okay, that's already enough. I think I want a little bit of brownish. Let's go with chocolate. Just because I don't want to lose the eye completely if I go too dark. Okay. I think that's already good. And they don't have white around their eyes, around the irises. I checked that out already. They are not white, they're dark. Okay, I think the chocolate helps too to define the face a bit. So let's use this around here too. Okay, and then let me just quickly sharpen my cool grain 90%. I think that will be the next one that I have to tape to the replacement pencil. If you don't know what I mean, then just check out my other video of what I'm doing when my pencils are getting too short. Hint, hint. Okay, so cool grain 90. Yep, I think I like that. So, which Posca was working and which one was not? Don't you love it when you're so prepared? Okay. Ooh. Okay. So let's see if it was this one. Yes, I think it was. I'm just adding some additional highlights. I think this looks a little better. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so I will not use the Posca on the rest of the face right now because I will do it at the end as a whole. So, okay. But at this point, I think you can see the colors a little bit better, right? That's good. That's good. Okay, let's go to the yellowish areas down here, and we will start with goldenrod. Bring in some color here. Here and there, just to match it all a bit. A little bit in the tip of the ear. And just here and there. Okay, then let's see what the bronze can do. If it can do anything. You can't see much, but the color itself fits the skin quite good, so it's okay. Okay, and then let's go to the shoulder already. Just keep it going with the bronze. The one time that we actually want this dirty color. Okay, burnt ochre. A little bit of a reddish brown. We will see. I mean, I will absolutely do a background for this, but we will see how long the video will be. When we are finished with the monkey, maybe the background will be its own short video. We will see. We will see. Just a heads up. I'm not quite sure if I will do the background in this part or if we'll do another part. But there will be a background, and yes, I want them to match this one. So that when you look at these pages, it feels like one whole page and not two separate ones. Since they are so similar in the drawings, I want to keep that connection between the two. So this is chocolate again. It works actually better than I thought. Okay, then espresso for these parts. 2. Okay, goldenrod. Oh, wow, extremely windy outside. So when you look out of the window, it's such a beautiful sunny day, and then you can hear the wind howling. And not quietly. It's woo. Good thing at this time I don't have my plants on the balcony, so they cannot tip over, but that will be a problem we have to look into in the future to secure them. That's French grey 10%. Again. Okay, and now we are going back into the darker areas. That's French grey 70%. And I think I want to bring in something more greenish too, because I think we will lose some of the green Neocolor now in the process. But we will see. The only rule I try to follow here is just keep in the direction that the fur goes, but if I'm flicking or not, or I want to use little circular motions on these ones, so if it's streaky, we actually want that. Okay, then cool gray 90%. Now we will lose this bird, but it's okay. It's okay. Sorry, little bird, but we already lost the kitty cat down here, so. The page of the lost animals. I mean, it's a jungle. They hide anyway, right? At least most of the animals. Then French gray with 50%. There. Okay. And then 70%. Now this looks very flat, but it's okay. 90. We still have some of the greenish undertone going on. That's good. Okay, so this part is already way darker than its head. I think I will go over this part again. But let's go through the guy from start to finish, and then we can adjust some of the colors that we don't like. Good. Start over again. Goldenrod. And like I said, no reference picture involved right now. Just feeling. Okay, bronze. Oh, also what I forgot. In case you didn't see, Hannah Coulson just announced a new book for us. Isn't that great? I was so worried for her when she came out with her diagnosis about a year ago. And I'm so happy to see that she's back on track, back to work, back to what she loves, and brings us a new book. That's so great. And it's absolutely, completely up my alley. So it will be something. I mean, it's about Atlantis, so it will be ocean themed, but I try to get the title together. I don't know if it's Cities of Atlantis or Tales about Atlantis, but it's something Atlantis. It's great. I'll absolutely pre-order this one. But like I said, I'm just happy for her that her health is better and she can do what she loves again and feels like she can do it again, like she has enough power and motivation to do it again. So great. But yeah. Oh, that's absolutely one of my next books that I will get. Definitely. But I think probably the very next one will be the new mythographic Aviary I think it's released 21st of March, at least for us. I think that will be the next. And at this point, I'm feeling actually pretty bad because although I have it, I haven't colored a single page in Joseph Cadenbank's last mythographic, which was Mythical Earth. I have it, but the problem was when I got it, I was so hooked up on mythographic Weaver, holy up, that I could just not put this back to book to the side and color in Mythical Earth. And then the next thing that happened, I started YouTube and I decided to use the coloring checklist challenge that we are doing this one here for. And I try to bring in some variation in the books that I use for this. So, I mean, you could basically just probably cover the whole checklist right off my head. I'm not quite sure, but except for 1 or 2 or 3 prompts, you can probably do 80% of the whole checklist challenge by that time with the mythographic series. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe I will look it up later on if I can find fitting pages to each and every prompt. I already planned out some of the pages I will do on here. But as I said, not everyone is into the mythographic books that I can absolutely not understand. Just kidding. So I want to bring you a little bit of a variety of books that I'm coloring here, so that there's a book and a page for every one of you. I think at some point we could be burned out by the mythographic series. So yeah, therefore I try to bring in some other books instead of just the mythographic ones. But yeah, that's why I haven't colored in Magical Earth till today, and I'm actually feeling bad since I'm already planning on buying the next one. But I mean, 21st of March is still around a month to go, and then it has to arrive here. And since a long while, the times when Amazon was delivering a book on its release date are no, these times were so great, but they are gone over for a while now. So don't know how it is for you guys over there, but for example, I pre-ordered Kerby's Alien book already a while ago, and it will be delivered around 10 days after release. How sad is that? 10 days. The good point is, since I pre-ordered, the price for it is going down and down and down and down, and I hope this trend is keeps going. So I think when I pre-ordered it, it was around 10 euros more expensive than they have listed it right now. So that would be neat if they keep this trend up. Cool Gray 90, since you can't read it on the pencil. So yeah, that's also one book I'm very excited for. And now it's not that long anymore till its release. Actually, it's also end of March, right? So great. So then the mythographic will be the next book that I have, but will probably not start right away. Because I'm waiting for the Kerby so badly. And one thing I want to do in this book is just to break out of my habit of coloring the objects, the colors they actually are, and go more colorful and use more pinks and purples and oranges and whatsoever. Because for aliens, there is just no reference for me to work from. I will not recognize them, and I will not know their colors because there are none references. And therefore, this book can actually be something pretty challenging for me. I know this sounds weird, but I'm having a hard time using pinks, purples, and stuff. And go all colorful and weird colors. It's just something my brain doesn't process very well and somehow refuses. But I think the alien book could be very cool to do stuff like this and completely go out of your way color-wise and choose colors that you would probably not use. At least if you are me. I know many people out there are just in love with pinks, purples, and stuff, and combine them so pretty well. And I really hope this book will help me to do so too. Looking forward to this. And yes. Also, I decided whenever I get a new book, just like I did today. I mean, I got it yesterday, but today I recorded a flip through, and I think that's something I want to do in the future too for you. Because this doesn't take much time and I can bring you something to watch that doesn't take 2 hours. Nice twist, right? But yeah. Also, I'm just thinking, or maybe just let me know if you're interested in this, showing my collection of coloring books that I have. Is this something you're interested or not? But I can tell you that I have quite a few pretty common books, but maybe if you're interested, we can go through them and then I can maybe show you some of my older works that weren't included in the completed pages from last year video. So maybe we can cover these that way. Let me know if you're interested in that. And then I will try to find the time to squeeze it in. Somehow I'm having a hard time to keep the direction of the fur in this tail. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm talking too much and focusing too less. But somehow this is giving me a hard time. Okay, bit goldenrod. Just lightly. Bronze. Yup. Okay. Let's start from the tip of the tail. But I actually think maybe the Posca could be already too wide or have a little bit too big of a tip for the fur. So that means I have to torture myself with the jelly rolls and the gel pens. So that's fun. Okay, burnt ochre. Cool gray 90. Okay. 10. French gray 10. $90 again. Okay, let's look from above on the whole page. Can't you see how beautiful each and every line is? No, you can't. Okay, I think that's better. So, this is what we're having now after the pencil layer. Now, let's see if we can bring out some more life of this. But, as I said, and already forgot, I think I want to darken this piece bit up a bit with French gray 90. It's not dark enough for me. Wow, I think our house will be blown away soon. It's weird. It's so beautiful outside. black. I think that's better. Okay, so fun part. Gel pen. Gel pen. Okay, what do we have? No signal. This one let me down last time. Okay, jelly roll 0, 8, 0, 5, and 10. Posca? Posca? No Posca right now. So, 0, 8, our weapon of choice. Let me bring you. I think this way you can see the most. Okay, so do we want to cooperate today, please? So let's soften the edges here a bit. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so fun. No, it won't. Okay, start counting, guys. How long it will take me to lose patience and switch to Posca. Patience. Patience is the key. Patience is the key in coloring, right? Okay, try to get the ball moving in just one direction. No, doesn't do anything. Great. I mean, there's a little bit. For this part, that's okay, but for the darker parts, we will need something that's working a little better. I think. And that's a little bit more opaque. But for this part, it's okay. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be fun. But at least it does a little bit of work. So I think with the 0.5 I would be lost already, but the 0.8 seems to work okay. So, does it look fluffy? Yes. It's light enough, it looks white. It looks fluffy. I think I like this. Okay, face. Tricky area. Tricky area. But we will get there. Since the faces of these monkeys are not so fluffy, I will not do too much, but actually to push back the color that we've set in a little bit. And most of the time you don't have to erase the black lines completely. If you just break them up by just scribble over them, they look from far already way lighter and way less obvious without you even covering them completely. So that's something to keep in mind. We don't have to sit here and cover each and every little black line. Don't have to do it. They look already way less obvious just by scribbling over them and break them up. Okay. Let's bring back in some more white in the face again. And as you can see, I'm just scribbling over these. I do not cover them completely, but it appears already lighter. Okay. Don't think I need a harsh outline on its face here. Oops, sorry. And just so you get an idea, I can touch the camera stand just with the pen, so you know how close it is. And I have to look around it. But that's just so you guys get the best view of it. Okay, I think I like that. Then let's go into the more dark areas. Now we have to be a little bit more careful what we are doing. Because if I scribble this way, it will show on these darker areas. So now I have to actually think what I want to do and what I'm doing. Just so it won't look weird at the end. And you can already see how much life these highlights add to a page. I think that's just highlights make just change the whole page, in my opinion. It's amazing. Okay, soften this line a little bit so it looks a little bit more furry. Once again, I just scribble over it. I don't delete the line completely. Okay. Okay, do I want to add some more on the eyes? No, no, too much. Okay, looks good to me. Maybe just lighten it up here a bit more. Okay, I would say this face looks whitish enough. if I would just take away more color, it would look too pale again. Good. That's better. Okay, so we have a fluffy ear, a beautiful face, and now, ooh, now fur. Okay, for the white part, just for testing purposes, we will switch over to Jelly Roll size 10, because we saw this part should look white. Just get it clean. And now I'm actually flicking a bit. Just on the tips of the hairs. Otherwise I would lose my shading up there. You can see nothing, that's great. So just on the end. And this already looks way whiter than before. Just add some more down here. I think we can use the size 10. Although the lines are pretty, right. Okay, so I think we have to switch to the 08 again. I think let's work towards the face for now. Now the 08 is unhappy because they used the 10 and now it won't work as good as it did on the face. Thank you. And once again, I just break up the line a little bit. I don't cover it completely, but this will be enough to make it appear more soft. Okay. Down here it's too much. It's too much. Too white. That's sad, because if the size 10 is already too much, there's absolutely no way whatsoever that I can use the Posca. Then so we will stick to this. Okay. And yes, down here it's already very white. So just scrape it up a little bit with your fingernail and you will get a lot of it back. So just erase with your fingernail. Please don't let me down. There's a long way to go now. Please. I don't even know if I have a backup in this size. So please. Okay. And break up the lines down here or back here. So this will be for you guys probably the boring part, because that's just all we are doing now. Just flicking on very teeny tiny streaks of gel pen. So if it's too boring for you, just skip. I could totally understand. But that's what I will do for the next many minutes. But I actually know that when I skip this part, there will be questions. What did you do here? What did you do there? So I think I will record the face, since it's the most important part, and maybe his shoulder and his hand, and then I will do the rest on my own, just to save some time. But for now, let's do this fun part together, this exciting part, and at least this way you can see how these little teeny tiny streaks of gel pen will change your whole picture. Because it will. Just as you saw on the ear and the face, I hope at least you could see, it will just change the whole thing. If I can find a way to color in a way that you can actually see what I'm doing, but at this point not happening, so I apologize. How far are we? Oh, almost 2 hours. Yeah, okay, so background will be its own video, because we are already pretty long again on this one. So yeah, you will see this little guy once again in another video. Okay. Just let me bring in, because on this side it can be a little brighter anyway, since I want the light to come from this side. You can see I'm already losing my patience. Okay, but we have to be careful in how much we are adding now that we are working with this more opaque size. I barely touch the paper right now, otherwise it will be too big of a line and too much of white. And I don't want to ruin it by adding too much. But the other one is just a little too slow for me right now. Barely touching. Barely. Almost not touching. It's best. Too much. Now we have to wait till it's dry before we can scrape up something. Scrape off, sorry. Just very, 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 very little. Ugh. The stress. And maybe I will just fall off the chair because while concentrating, I tend to hold my breath. That's not good. Okay. That's enough for here. 08. Back again. Okay. Oh, come on. Please. Please. Thank you. This will probably take as long as all the other stuff that we did. Okay. And I hope you can absolutely see the difference between the size 10 and the size 08. It's obvious. But we can soften it up with this one a bit. So, wow. Wow, this is gonna take a while, and I will absolutely not make you sit through this whole torture. Okay, I think I will even skip the arm for you, because otherwise we will be here in around 10 hours again, or still. But I hope you could see the difference. I also hope it's showing the yellowish and greenish undertone that it has, but I think it does. And so let me bring you up. I hope you can also see what difference it makes if you have the gel pen on or if not. I think it's pretty obvious. So this whole monkey will return to its more lighter and more whitish colors at the end, and it will look a little bit more realistic, at least I hope. But as you saw how long this part took us, I will not make you sit through this, but therefore I will just leave you for a blink of an eye and go through this, and then I will see you in a second, and then maybe, now that I skipped it, maybe we can bring in the background part. let's see. Just 1 second for you, a whole lot of hours for me, and I will be back. Okay, so pain and suffer is over, and here's the finished product. I'm pretty happy with the fur, how it looks. It looks furry and somehow realistic. From far, I really like his face. I think he's really cute. Okay, and since we skipped this part and we have a few minutes left now, I decided that I will throw the background part in this part of the video, and then we can see the finished result at the end. As I said, I want to match it with the cat, so I will try to keep this lighter band somewhere here, so it looks connected. In the lower part where here it's yellow, I think I will go for a green color. I'm not sure if I want to stay in the night part, or maybe I will use green instead of black, but just so, and then even continue with the yellow down here. This could also be a good idea. I think I even like that idea more. So black will be dark green. Down here we will try to get in some yellow here, and I will continue this white stripe somewhere in this area, so from here and maybe going up here. We will see. I used not Neocolor, inktense on this side, so we will do it with inktense on that side too. And let me just bring out my swatch chart. If you're interested, I redid these ones because therefore before I just had these paper things that were just dissolving themselves by using, and I just covered them with tape and then just taped it on. So this way you can use it as much as you want. It will not tear. Okay, so I want a dark green first. So I think this one as my darkest green. What's this? 3020. 3020. Ionian green. Okay, then I think beach green. And what look good? I think spring green, or even fern. Fern, and then go down to mustard as the yellow one. Okay, fern and mustard as the yellow one. And I think that's it for now. I can still add later on. Okay, we are using the same technique as we used in the color along of the Space Kitty. So now I will start with the fern as the brightest green, and I just very light-handed lay it down around the face and just already map out this white or light parts. Really light-handed. Here it's a little harder to get it without the streaks since the paper is bending here and it's not laying flat. It's a little unfortunate, but it's okay, we will get it. Very light-handed. Somehow I have spots in the paper, but well. Let me bring you down a little bit, then you can actually maybe see the color that I'm using. Maybe. Focus. Thank you. On the other side, we don't have that much variation. I mean, black is black. It just turns out more gray or less gray. But on this side, since we will use various green colors, we will have more of a variation on this side. Okay, where are we coming in here? Maybe let's just extend this part a little bit. Not too much pressure, because the streaks of these will stay there. You will have a hard time to dissolve them. So try not to press too hard. Maybe we can do it a little like this. Okay. I think I will use a second layer with more pigment as soon as I see how much or how deep it turns out that way. And then we can still bring in some more pigment later on. Okay. Just for variation, where is beach green? Here. Okay. And then we go up here. Ugh, the streaks. That's not good. The darker the pencil, the more obvious are the pencil streaks. That's something you also have to consider while doing this. It's more dangerous on darker colors to get streaks. But we will get it. We will get it somehow. Okay, maybe a little more like this. Okay, now we are getting too high. The background doesn't go so high on this side. Yeah, great, great, good. Sometimes the clumpiness is real. Yeah, and the streaks are also real, but we will see if we can somehow dissolve them anyway. Okay, maybe a little bit of brighter green, so we won't lose the definition of the paper, the page itself, the drawing. Just fill in all the spaces a little bit, at least with a base layer. Okay, let's just jump over here again with the darkest green. So this is gonna be fun. Let's just do it that way, very light-handed, to prevent us from getting even more streaks. I think we will have to use more pigment later on, but maybe more from the palette than from the pencil itself. This is just for outlining the area where we want to go. This will not be the finished layer. I think we will have two or even three. You will see. Okay. This looks so terrible right now, but that's just how inktense work. First they look terrible, and then they look awesome. Okay, so now we can start mixing a little bit more down here with our different green colors. And at this point, I just hope that it's not too much green, so we will lose some somehow the image itself. At least maybe the trees, but that we can solve by just enhancing the outlines with more white. Yeah, more gel pen. Didn't had enough, but we will see how it looks after we activated these parts. Okay, where we want to come up with this. I think here, here maybe. Okay, more beach green. And the darkest one. Okay. A little further down here. And then we go into the yellow parts. And we will also stop it around here, I think. So maybe not use too much of it, otherwise we would probably lose his hand a bit, since the colors are so similar. Oh gosh! Streaks are real. That looks bad. That looks bad. But, well. Okay, we are going just every possible direction. Fern, where's Fern? Here. I started off so light-handed and now I'm just throwing it in and completely ignore every advice that I just gave you. I mean, you can do it this way, you just have to be prepared to work a little bit harder afterwards to fix it. But since in my head I already decided that I will go with a second layer. Okay, so that's what we have. In reality, it's more darker than you can see it. In reality, there's a little bit more pigment on the paper. Okay, time to activate. Let me see if I can get you the colors a little bit more true. Probably not. Okay, anyway. We will see how it turns out after activating the good stuff. We will start on this side and first do this part, I think. And once again, I will wet the paper here as well, so we won't get a harsh line when the pigment runs upwards. And then we start activating. I push the pigments from the lightest areas to the more darker ones. Can you see these little dots? I love them. There's just nothing that you can do about them. They are just in the paper. If they are there, they are there. There's nothing that you can do. That doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong. It's just the paper. Some of them will vanish after drying, but most of them will probably stay where they are. So if you want a very smooth background, maybe don't use wet stuff. But well, it is what it is. I know it already. I had it on the cat side too. I can see that. But there it's not that obvious because the colors are so dark and deep. But yes, I was prepared this would happen. So sometimes you have this. I think in some of the Johanna Basfords I had this issue too. And in Camilla Derrico's book, I had it too, but not that bad, I think. Yeah, these are the books I can just off my head think about that have somehow, sometimes have this issue too. With these little spots. But well, it is what it is. Doesn't bother me too much right now. And then we just mix the colors together while we are activating. Down here we will just pull out the colors into this bright area, so we won't have a too bright area and a too harsh line. Okay, it's fine. And then from bright to dark again. Okay, so we have to work in a second layer for sure. Just first of all to delete this line a little bit and to get more richer colors. Let me bring you up so you can see a bit better the whole image. Yeah, we absolutely have to use a second layer, but I hope it's the connection between the two is already visible. Okay, I will let this dry, just not to mess it up, and then we will go into it with the palette in the second step. Okay, I'll dry. And I already scribbled out my colors on the palette. So let's see if we can fix some of the issues we have there. So this is fern, this is peach green, and this is Ionian green. And down here we have mustard. Okay, so let's mix these two already. Keep the water flowing. Just cover this harsh line that we had going on here. And then just slowly bring in more pigment to the page. Clean it up, soften the edges a little bit. Now it's just playing around with our greens that we have. And a little bit of the mustard. Now it's really just playing around. And try to somehow match it, but I mean, it's obvious that there's a difference. Not too much, too less water. Now we are going really heavy on this paper. But it's okay, it will handle it. I trust this paper. And if not, then we will just find a way to cover up every bleed through that would could happen on the other side, but I think at this point we should be fine. Are we fine? No, we are actually not that fine, but it's still okay-ish. So at least now we know we will leave this area alone and do its thing while drying. Because the fun thing is, or not the fun thing, but one thing to consider, these little tiny spots are actually the areas and these spots that are most likely to bleed through. Somehow they suck the pigment in and suck the water in like crazy, and that's the dangerous part that can actually cause some bleed through. So that's something to consider if you have paper that's behaving like this. Just be careful on these areas. Or on these areas, I mean, it's the whole background, but just be careful if you have paper like this. Just work fast and dry your paper even in between, so it doesn't have the time to suck and suck and suck your pigment through the paper. So as you see, we are just deepening the colors and bringing in more pigment and playing around a little bit more with the colors. I think up here we can go pretty dark. Oh yeah. The other side will suffer. But it's fine. As I said, we will find a way to cover it all up in case we are doing the other side someday. I think I have to scribble out some more because we are already running out of pigment on the palette. We will leave this area alone, goes into the area again. Okay, great. Never mind, then. But I feel like there's just something missing. So, okay. Okay. just always make sure that the water's running in the brush. As soon as it gets too dry, the pigment will not dissolve properly. This could cause trouble. Oh, this was a little bit too much, but no problem. Okay. Oh, beach green. We are running out of beach green. We don't have that much left to color, but just try to work fast. Or fast, yeah. Don't take too much time. It will dry quite fast, so. And then there's just nothing you can do with the inktense anymore. So. Okay, how do we like this so far? Pretty happy. A bit darker here. Here. Okay. This will now probably kill the other page, but it's just not dark enough for me, so the other side has to suffer. And now this paper is pretty wet, so you have a little bit more time to smooth the edges. But just be prepared that it will sink into your paper faster now and deeper. You will not have that much time to work on the paper surface now that it's pretty wet than you had before. But yeah. Just keep that in mind. Okay, do we want to go darker on this side too? I think so. Leave the area alone. Yep, no, not happening. think the mustard part can go a bit deeper. Okay. Okay. Now we will leave it to dry, and then we will see if the colors were getting lighter or if they stayed like this. If we have to adjust some areas or if we are happy. And I will be back in a second. Okay, so it's almost completely dry. I don't know if you can see it. A few of the spots disappeared again after drying, and the other side is also not impacted anymore. So there were just these darker spots from the water, but they are gone already. Told you I trust this paper. The only thing, I mean, I'm happy with the colors, so I will not work on this part again. The only thing that I will do once more is bringing out the beloved gel pens and just bring some of the edges back again that I just lost a little bit. For now, I will start with the size 10. If I separated it a little more from the background, I'm okay with that. I don't want to lose the objects just because of the background. Therefore, I just bring them out with a little bit more highlight again. Also on the monkey, just on the outer edges. That will be enough. Just so the line is not so hard to the background. Yeah, that was too much. That's better. Because we went over it a little bit with a brush. And so this way we can bring the contour back again. Okay, a little bit here. Just very roughly go over it. Now the camera starts to get light and dark again. That's great. Okay, the trees here and there. A tiny bit, and the leaves. The crowns of the trees. Just very rough. But it will make a difference. At the end, promise. Keep the tip of the tail. Okay. So here, the leaves, the tree. Okay. And for this purpose, I think a white line is more effective than a black one, because the contrast is just higher. Okay, and here it's okay. About the arms, maybe a tiny bit down here. No, it's okay. Okay, so let me see if I'm happy. And I think I actually am happy. This was the final touch for me on this page. I would call this done. And I'm really, really, really happy with it. So, you made it again. You watched through the whole process. Let me show you these two beauties next to each other, since they meant to be together. I think this just white lighter stripe just is enough to connect these completely different pages together, and I really like them together. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed what you saw and liked the coloring process. Maybe there were one or two little tips and tricks that you can use for your own colorings, maybe for the fur or whatever. Hope you liked it. Hope I see you in the next video. And until then, thanks for watching and bye.